Well, good evening, everyone. When I was 7 years old, I developed pneumonia, double pneumonia, actually. And it was pretty bad. I spent a week in the hospital, and I missed probably 3 months of school. When I came home, I had to take inhalers, I had to take all kinds of medication. It took a long time for me to heal. And I just remember those nights where it was hard for me to breathe, and I was panicking, and my mom came in and comforted me, and I had to take those inhalers. And I never experienced anything like that before. But what it did was it turned into a chronic condition that I still deal with today. Anytime I get a cold and it starts in my throat, well, I know what's going to happen. It goes down into my lungs, and inevitably I end up getting bronchitis, or I get pneumonia, or I get some kind of upper respiratory infection. And that's just what I've been dealing with since I was 7 years old. I'm sure many of you here tonight may have that kind of a condition. Maybe it's medical or something else. Something that you're dealing with in your life that's just chronic. Well, when I was in India, I visited a place in Kolkata that was a large assembly area with a pool that many people who were sick went to. And they dipped in the pool for healing, and they came seeking physical healing. Well, guess what? Jesus dealt with the same thing. He dealt with a man who had a chronic condition. And if we look at John chapter 5, it says, sometime later, Jesus went to Jerusalem for one of the Jewish festivals. Now, there is in Jerusalem near the sheep gate a pool, which in Aramaic is called Bethesda, and which is surrounded by 5 covered colonnades. This looks, in my mind, like this place in India. And we see all these people that are sick gathering in these places. And every time I read this passage, I think of that time when I was in Kolkata. And it says in verse 3, here a great number of disabled people used to lie, the blind, the lame, the paralyzed. So all these people were laying around, they were sick. It was a lot of people coming to this pool, seeking healing, seeking some kind of a miracle. Well, among these people was a man. And it says in verse 5, one who was there had been an invalid for 38 years. I don't know if you can imagine what it would be like to have a chronic illness for 38 years. To have to deal with going in and out of this temple, going in and out among the people, and he's lame, he's sick, he can't take care of himself. Maybe you could really relate to that. Being in this situation where you just want to blend into the wall. You want to just disappear from life. And so Jesus encounters this man. And he says, when Jesus saw him lying there and learned that he had been in this condition for a long time, he asked him, do you want to get well? He's asked, do you want to get well? You would think he would say yes. You would think he would jump up and say, yes, I want to get well. But instead he says, sir, I have no one to help me into the pool when the water is stirred. When I'm trying to get in, someone else goes down ahead of me. We sometimes get caught in a rut, right? We have our morning routines. We have things that we do, and we don't want to change how we do these things. And this man didn't want to change how he lived his life. But Jesus gives him the opportunity to be healed. And so Jesus actually heals him. It says that Jesus said to him, get up, pick up your mat and walk. At once the man was cured and picked up his mat and walked. Jesus offered him that freedom. And in that same way, we get that freedom from Jesus as well. We may be caught in our rut. We may be caught in our way of doing things. But Jesus says, pick up your mat and walk. And even though Jesus was later accused of breaking the law because he told this man to pick up his mat and walk, which was against Jewish law, and he was persecuted for that, this man was healed. And we need to accept that freedom, the freedom that Jesus gives us to heal us from whatever it is that holds us in a rut. And I hope we really grab that idea tonight.